All right, so it's asking me to obtain a sample to estimate a population mean. So the first thing I would do is go find the formula, which is my z alpha over 2 times the standard deviation over the error, and all of this is squared. On abbreviation, previous evidence, you believe the population standard deviation is approximately 26.4. You would like to be 95% confident, so we'll kind of put that there to the side. And your estimate within 0.1, so that's the error. So the whole problem is, how do I find this z? And this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me unless you look at the graph. So if I'm looking for 95%, that's this middle. The problem is how technology and even tables, couldn't think of the word, they are giving you this z value right here from the end all the way up to there. So the problem is you're not going to look up 95%. You need this value. You know, that's what this alpha over 2 is. So if I have 95%, alpha is 1 minus 0.95, which would be 0.05. So this is really, this alpha divided by 2 now would become 0.025, which would be this, 0.025. So the probability that you're actually looking up for the z value, 0.025, is 0.975. And that's why these are weird for students, because of that. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm too lazy to do all this. So what I do is I set up just anywhere. You see I got all kinds of junk all over my Google Sheets. I just go somewhere to a blank area, and first of all, I put, well, what is the confidence? And in this case, it's going to be 0.95. What I actually look up, though, is going to be equal to this value plus, in parentheses, 1 minus this value, that's where the 0.05 came from, divided by 2. So it's important that you understand how I did this formula, because if you do the formula once, then you can use this, reuse this over and over again. All right, so now here I can find my z value with the equal, and I've shown this in other videos, NORMS, that value, my 0.975, what I'm having to look up, and I see that I get my 1.95, and this doesn't round. The reason why I set this up in my Google Sheets, all right, you want me to do a 90%? Look at there, a 99. And so that's the cool part of trying to get you to use Google Sheets, is reusability. So you can see my value here. Now, as I mentioned, and this would probably be me even lazy once again, let me do this here, is I probably would set up somewhere in here, and I don't know that this is the best place, I don't know where you want to set it up, but I probably would set up this formula as well, because I only want to do this once. So my sample size for a mean, okay, because remember it's different if it's a proportion, needs a z value, needs a standard, I was going to type sigma, standard deviation, and an error. So what I could do is I could grab that z, I could type in my standard deviation that was given, 26.4, and my error, 0.1. Now I can set up this formula by looking at this. So I'm going to do equal, open 2 parentheses, the outer parentheses, and the next parentheses is the numerator, z, times the standard deviation, close the numerator, divided by the error, close the outside, and square. And the reason I do this, holy moly, look at there. And so there is my answer. So 267734 or 35 because you'll typically round up. You can even use these little buttons right here to say, round it for me. But this way now I have this formula that all I have to do is change my confidence and my standard deviation and error. So a lot of times what I will do, I will color these like a different color, because this will tell me that these are the only things that I should touch in this formula, because everything else is going to be a calculation that I'm going to be able to reuse. Reusability, that is Google Sheets. Set up your formula once, which is why all these were set up for you, and then never have to set it up again. Just plug in values.